Hey everybody, Joy here. Joy here. This is my downstairs sewing room. For all of my new people, hello. I'm so excited that you found me, or I found you, however it happened. For those who don't know me, it's like, why is she always in a different sewing room? I have two houses. We've had two houses for years and years because we had two businesses in two different towns. And so it's kind of just, stayed with us, even though we're retired and our businesses are sold. So at my other house, I turned the attic into a giant sewing room. So it's just one room. This house just has regular, normal bedrooms. And so we have no kids, no grandkids, no anybody that ever comes to see us. Our parents are all deceased and in heaven. And so I just made each room a different area of my life. I've got one for jewelry, one for my long arm, one for my sewing machine, one for my embroidery machine, okay? So this is my downstairs sewing room, and this is where I make my garments. And so I'm already on another project. It took me long time yesterday to come up with this for the back of a jacket. I'm making that denim jacket again. I was looking for a quilt for y'all in my last video in my attic here, and I saw a Sterilite box. I have a bunch of Sterilite boxes and they're labeled, and it said, pre-washed denim washed 3 times. I heard years ago you're supposed to wash denim 3 times before you make something out of it. And I thought, oh. So I opened it up. I thought I was going to have to go buy more denim. And 3 yardages of denim were in there. So I took one of them out. This one has no stretch. And I decided to try that jacket again, and I decided I wanted to use my new Lady R, my new Radiance embroidery machine, to put a big design on the back. I wanted it to be gigantic, like that biggest hoop, but it just would have been too big for me. And plus it takes 5-6 hours to sew them out. This took 2 hours. So this is actually my jacket back, and what I do is I start out with just a great big piece of the yardage so I can fit it in a large hoop. I have a chalk line here showing where the shoulder, one of the sides, shows where the shoulder of the pattern is supposed to go and where the neckline of the pattern is supposed to go and where the hem. But since it has an embroidery design in it now, it probably shrunk just a little bit. However, that 10 by 10 hoop with the magnets, oh my goodness. I think if I sew something 2 inches square, I'm going to sew it in that magnetic hoop. I need to buy the 5 by 7. I think for Christmas, I'm going to ask for the 5 by 7 magnetic hoop. You know, they cost an absolute fortune. Oh, I looked one up. I looked up the 9 by 10 regular hoop with no magnets. I think it was like $350. I thought, you have got to be kidding. So I just got off my computer and I went and made this. So I'm going to press it. It's got a little tiny itty bitty pleat fold. You know how sometimes they make these little wrinkles. I used 1 layer of cutaway woven stabilizer. That's all I use because this denim's pretty thick. And I got this 1 itty bitty pinch right there when it did the antennas of the butterfly. Why is the butterfly blue and purple? Because I was going to make a monarch butterfly, but the monarch butterfly was almost all black with a little bit of orange, and I thought, I don't want all that black on here. I don't know if it'll show up very good. So I looked up real life butterflies on the internet. You can find anything on the internet. And I looked up real life butterflies, and I found a butterfly with these colors. So he's a real butterfly. Well, I mean, not a real butterfly. He's a copy of a real butterfly. So I'm going to press this, and then I'm going to put it down on my table, and then I'm going to put my pattern. The only correction I made from last time was I made those great big huge circle sleeves smaller, did not embroider them this time, and I put a tiny round back in the back. So here's the back, and I'm fixing to cut it out. So I'll come back later and show you how it turns out. How about that? So don't you love it when you wake up on is it Friday? Friday morning, and you had a bad night, Sinuses, I don't know, something set my sinuses off last night. I couldn't go to sleep. So I was wandering around for a while, doing some laundry at 2 a.m. So anyway, I'm sure I got some sleep because I took a Benadryl, which, you know, I hate to take. But, so I got up this morning and I thought, I never do this. I ought to know better. If I'm not going to talk to y'all, and I'm not going to do anything or go anywhere, I'll just stay in my pajamas. And so I had my pajamas, and they consisted of a top and pants, thank goodness. And on top of that, I had on my totally non-finished denim jacket with the big sunflower in the back. And it's got frayed edges all around. It has no sleeves. It's not finished. It's just a front and a back. And I had it on over my pajamas. And then I had these big fuzzy slippers on. And the doorbell rings. Yes, my husband didn't bother to mention to me that he had called the Geek Squad people, and the Geek Squad people were coming this morning at 10 a.m. or whenever they got here. And as he always does, he disappears. And the guy comes and he rings the doorbell. And he rings the doorbell again. And he rings the doorbell again. I thought, oh, it must be Jeffrey. You know, I don't care if I'm in my pajamas. I'll go answer the door. I mean, I look bad, you guys. My hair was every which way like Einstein. No makeup. And I look out, and I see it's a guy. And I think, oh, it must be the UPS man or the mailman or something. So I opened the door, and I said, well, hey. And there was a bunch of packages on the ground outside the door, and I thought, oh, he must have brought those packages. So I said, oh, thank you for bringing my packages. He said, I didn't bring your packages. I said, well, who are you? He said, I'm from the Geek Squad. I thought, oh no. I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know where my husband is. He must be in the shower. And I am just thinking, oh, don't look at me, don't look at me, don't look at me. I'm sure he's seen a lot of crazy old ladies. So my husband's over in the barn. What is wrong with him, y'all? Would you tell me what is wrong with him? So I bring the man in. I tell him to go in Jerry's office. He's probably afraid. It's like, good Lord, if the wife looks like this, what does the husband look like? So I goes in Jerry's office, and so I go out in the mudroom. I'm going to go out in the garage. I'm going to go see where Jerry is, and he comes in. He said, well, I was over in the garage. Or in the barn, you know, his barn. Ugh. So that's how my morning started. I decided after the Geek Squad man got here, I ran in my bathroom and I got dressed, halfway fixed my hair and put some lipstick on. And then I went in the office where he was with Jerry so he could see me like a halfway normal woman. Oh, I've lost my mark here. Hey, where'd my mark go? So I just wanted to tell you, I went and saw Philly yesterday, and I showed her my jacket that I'm working on. Oh, there it is. Hello, Earthly Joy. You got to get your snowman, remember? Get your snowman. Use your snowman as many times as you can. I got mine with my Solaris, and I didn't get any with the Radiance that I know of. I haven't bound them yet. So I am very careful with these snowmen. So I'm going to put my mark. So what I did was, I cut the fabric much bigger. This is the sleeve. Remember the great big sleeve that was so huge? Well, I've made it 3 inches smaller now. And it's the same sleeve. And instead of putting the embroidery design here, back here where nobody can see it, I'm putting it here on the front. So there's my sleeve. I just drew it with chalk so I could figure out where to put my sunflower. There's going to be 3 sunflowers. There's already a great big one on the back. This one's going to be on the sleeve, and I'm going to have another one up here. And I want yellow lining in it. Philly said, you need navy blue. I said, I want yellow. No yellow lining in Hobby Lobby, so I have to wait 7 to 10 days for it to get here. I bought navy blue just in case, but I think it'd be pretty with yellow lining. Do I know how to line something? No, so that's going to be a new lesson. I have lined things. I made a coat years ago, and my daughter wore it for a long time. It's a beautiful pink wool coat. and had a lining. And I made myself a coat too. But I made a big mistake when I made myself a coat. I used crappy fabric for it. I thought, haven't made a coat in a long time. I don't know if I can make this. What if it doesn't turn out? So I used crappy fabric. It turned out gorgeous. And I gave it to the Goodwill because it was just such crummy fabric. So, fixing to put this sunflower on this. And like I said the other day, now I don't know if I said it to myself while I was sitting here or if I said it to you, but it takes more time for me to get the design ready. Now you see here, did I tell you this is what I do not like? I do not like about the Baby Lock machines. You cannot print out the design. I can print out the design. Here, I can print this design out. I got it from Embroidery Library. And I can print it out. I can print it out little, I can print it out big, I can print it out however I made it. And that way I can put it and see where I want it. I tell you, I wish I could talk to the Baby Lock people. Veronica actually still has not answered my questions about why can't you print. I'll have to contact her again. But that's really irritating. And Phyllis keeps saying, I can't believe you don't like that machine. All you do is complain about that machine. Y'all, I'm not complaining about the machine altogether. I'm complaining about the software in the machine, okay? The machine's fabulous. It's quiet. The embroidery design sews out beautiful. No hitches. Thread doesn't break, it doesn't stop, it doesn't freeze. It's wonderful. I love the machine. My complaints are really very little. Even in the lesson that some people had to pay hundreds of dollars to have, but it comes, if you buy the Radiance, you get access to the lessons for a short time, not forever, which I don't understand that about Baby Lock either. You know, a lesson ought to be yours for eternity if you buy a machine that expensive, if you buy a machine any expensive. The lessons ought to come with it for nothing. But even in the lessons, the man named Mike, he was doing picture play. He was doing a haunted house. The other girl, Patty, had downloaded an image of a haunted house, not like a house with bricks and mortar and everything, just like a, you know, somebody drew a house with windows and stuff. And it was just a simple house with trees outside, and there were no leaves on the trees. And so he was showing in picture play, there's a button that says remove background. And he said, well, let's remove the background on this. So he went in there to remove the background, and he did it 3 or 4 times, and he could not do it. It would do it, but it did it wrong. He said, well, let's do it again. Well, maybe I didn't do it right. Let's go back and do it again. Well, let's do it again. And he would say, well, I just don't know why this is working, but we're going to have to go on because it was live. When it was first recorded, it was live. And they need to fix that. They need to go back in there, have them redo that portion, and have it turn out right. So part of the haunted house was gone. Part of the trees were gone. And he was frustrated, and he finally said, oh, well, it just looks more haunted. I'm going to go ahead and just use it that way. Those kinds of things for the money you pay. If I was in charge, I would be at headquarters. I guarantee you I would be. I was in charge of a business for a long time, and I got things done nobody else could get done. Okay, so this is what I'm going to put. I'm going to hoop it. Another thing that I love, but I had this with my Solaris, these magnet hoops. Oh, are they ever wonderful. They hold so good. You have to have one of these little lifty deals to get the magnets off. Now, if there's material in it and something is hooped, the magnets are easy to get off then. But right now, and they stick to each other, and but oh my goodness, I've used this hoop, goodness, 3 or 4 times now, and I just love it. Philly loves hers too. All right, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to make sure it's hooped so my design is sort of in the middle. This is just a little design, 4 by 5. But it's very intense. I don't mean tense. It's very, what's the word I want? Y'all tell me the right word. It's very dense. It's very full. There's lots of stitches. How many stitches are there? Let me see. How many stitches do you have? It has 45,000 stitches, y'all. That's right. So, I got my snowman down. This is what we're going to sew on it. And I'm so excited. Now, I think this is going to need to go under it instead of on top of it. Now, look what I did. I have fabric here for both sleeves. And so I kept the other sleeve connected. I did not want to cut this small. And when I get this done, I'll put the pattern back on, fold it in half, and I'll cut them both out with the actual paper pattern. And that way, if there's any shrinkage or any change, it will come out right. Yes! Exciting! Okay, let's get you in here. What stabilizer am I using? This is the one that was laying at the front porch a little while ago, and I thought that the Geek Man brought it to me. This is from OESD. Now, I know OESD from years ago. OESD used to be just a couple miles away from my home in Edmond. And I used to take classes there, and the classes there were super, super, super fun. And they had a huge cafeteria there, and they would feed you. And I'll go to anything where they feed me, I tell you. I really will. In this house, there's nobody that feeds me but me. Jerry does not cook. He can take one of those frozen pizzas and put it in the fridge all by himself. So this is 20 inches by 10 yards of ultra clean and tear. Tear away stabilizer. It's for wovens. And you have to spray the back of it. You spray it, and then you stick it to your fabric, and then you hoop it. And it wasn't cheap. How much was it, Joy? Well, if I tell you, I'll probably tell you wrong. It was at least $20. Alright. First magnet. And you're supposed to do across from each other first, they say. You do the across part. Yeah. Now, I don't know. He's not totally in the center. I can't really come down much farther, but let me try. See how easy it is to pull up if there's fabric? Let me see. Let me push him up a little more. I don't want it to say, you need a bigger hoop. God, do you get that all the time? I got it yesterday when I was doing the one on the back. You need a bigger hoop. You need a bigger hoop. I'm like, no, I do not need a bigger hoop. Quit telling me that. It's enough to drive you to drink, I tell you. But I was on antibiotics, so I couldn't drink. Okay. There you go. There you go. Oh, it's so nice and tight and flat. Oh, I love these magnets, I tell you. I love these magnets. Oh, yes. Yes, I will love this machine just as much as I loved my Solaris. And that man keeps calling it a Solaris. I just want to scream. The man teaches the classes. Can't somebody tell him the name of the machine? It's not a Solaris. It's a Solaris. All right, we are hooped. And we're ready to go get in. And I spent 2 hours this morning. One bad thing. Here's another bad thing. Has nothing to do with Radiance, Lady R. Had nothing to do with Lady R. Has to do with buying software outside somewhere online and bringing it in to your software, your embroidery software. It always screws up the colors. Like it'll make the brown part green and the yellow part orange and the green part black, and it, oh, just horrible, horrible. So I had to go downstairs. Look at all the thread I have here. Look at all the thread. Look at all the thread. My rack downstairs is practically empty. I really should put this up here, but I'd have to take my quilts down if I did that, and I don't want to do that. So I'll just keep going up and downstairs. I will. It's not in the same room as my embroidery machine at the other house either. So I went through here and I changed all the colors. I printed out. Now see, print out. print out. You can print out the designs you buy online. There I printed it out. When I opened it up, all colors were horrible and gross. So you can print out the color sheet that tells you all the colors you need. The only problem there is they're all Madeira colors. I don't use Madeira thread. I probably have some in the house somewhere, but I don't use it. I use Isacord. I love Isacord. It doesn't shrink, it doesn't fade. I like Isacord, polyester thread. So I had to go downstairs and find Isacord that matched. Now there's a chart. You can say thread chart and it'll say, oh, your Isacord number is blah, blah, blah. Well, it misses half of them, and the ones it does tell you can be wrong. So I'll show you again how you get your design. Here's my flash drive. I got it from over there. I put that sunflower on this flash drive right here. And so now I'm going to find it because that sunflower is not in Lady R. So we're going to go to the pocket. Remember, the pocket saves things. And if you need to find something that you got from this or that is on this or that you saved onto one of these from here, you can save things from here on it, but you can't print it. Experience is the great teacher. So the pocket's connected over here to the flash drive. Click on the pocket. Click on the pitchfork because the pitchfork is connected to this. The pocket's connected to the pitchfork and the pitchfork's connected to the flash drive. Then click on B pocket and come down here and find your design. It's usually at the bottom. There it is. Sunflower small. Now this is not the same sunflower I put on the back of my jacket. This is the sunflower I put on the back and it was really, really big. Did I do it in a 10 by 10 hoop? Yeah, I think it's 10 inches tall or close to it. And so this is what I'm doing today, sunflower small, even though here in the picture it looks bigger than that one. So we're going to click on sunflower small. And we're going to say, look here, it tells you it's 486 by 513. It's got 13 colors in it and 23 color changes, and it's going to take an hour and 10 minutes to sew out. And it's a little design. Okay, so there we are. It's ready to embroider. I've got to tell it to find the snowman because I want it to start in the center that I call center, not what it calls center. I want it to start in my center, and I want it centered horizontally, vertically, and every which way. Okay, so I'm going to go to edit, and then I'm going to go back to embroidery, and then I'm going to go to layout, and then I'm going to click on the snowman. Okay to revert, and I don't know why it says okay to revert to the original size that it was, because I never changed it. Okay, so there it is, and that's where it thinks center is, but I'm going to have it scan that snowman and have it find my center. It has all of those things. You could scan the upper right, scan the upper left, scan the upper center, scan the left, right. I just scanned the whole thing. Let me put you down where you can see it. Okay? So it is centered. It found the snowman. So I'm going to say okay. And then I'm going to say return. And then I'm going to say embroidery. And look at that. It's got center right there in my snowman's belly. He only has one belly because they didn't have a lot of snow when they made these. So he only got one belly and one head. And we're going to start out sewing the leaf. And the very first color it says is Madeira 1769. Well, it is not Madeira 1769. Here's the first one I sewed on the back. So I'm going to now find a color chart I showed you a little bit ago and see what colors I put in there to use instead of Madeira. And I'm going to start this sewing out. Good Saturday morning, everybody. It's cooler here. Cooler, cooler. My sister just texted me and said it's going to freeze tonight. So on my back patio, I have a big bunch of parsley growing and one bell pepper. So I have to go pick my bell pepper and cover up my parsley with something. All I have to cover anything up with is a Walmart bag. So I'm thinking maybe if I put 2 or 3 of those Walmart bags on it, maybe it will preserve it. So I worked on my jacket all day long, literally all day long yesterday. That new machine of mine, I want so much to call him up and say, can I have my Solaris back? I'm not kidding you. I had no trouble, ever. I didn't take that Solaris in for repair or service for years and years and years. I serviced it maybe once every 4 or 5 years. It never froze. It never broke the thread. It never wouldn't do something it was supposed to do. I had no problems with it. And now this later, greater, supposed to be so super fantastic model is giving me issues. And as usual, I called Baby Lock Direct. There is a number for customer support. And the lady up there was just rude to me. She, number one, wouldn't listen to me. And I was trying to explain to her, and I would just get part of a sentence out, and she would start talking on top of me, trying to tell me what I needed to do before I even told her what was wrong. And then I would try to tell her again, and she wouldn't listen. She said, well, you need to do such and such, such and such. And I would say, I already did that. You need to let me tell you. And she said, we're having problems here. I can't understand you. You keep interrupting me. And I wanted to say, yes, I'm having the same problem. She was really rude. I was telling her that even the instructor on their tutorial video had issues. Well, I haven't watched that tutorial. Well, why hasn't she? Why is she answering the phone for customer support if she hasn't even watched the tutorials? Frustrating, frustrating. So I tried to tell her, and of course they always want you to just reset everything. Just reset everything back to the original settings. Well, I didn't change the original settings. I haven't done anything to the original settings. And I'm not even the one that set it up. The owner of the company set it up. So am I frustrated? Yes. It should not take 6 hours to sew out an hour and 30-minute design. In fact, I think it was 80 minutes. How much is that? 80 minutes. It took me all day long. It totally froze twice. Then, you know how you choose that icon with the plus or minus needles? And you choose it, and then you can go up and down to what color you are on? It got frozen on that. It got frozen on that screen, and it wouldn't let me return to my other screen. And finally, when it let me go back, after I turned it off and back on, when it let me go back, it went all the way back to the beginning of the design, and I was at the end of the design, almost, with 16 color changes. Oh. And it's not new to me. It's not like, you need to learn what you're doing. I know what I'm doing. I had the Solaris for years and years and years and years, and I sewed out dozens of embroidery designs. So I'm very frustrated with the Radiance, let me tell you. And I would love to call and say, can I just bring this back and get my Solaris? But I don't want the people there to hate me. I don't want them to never, you know, remember the old Bernina store in Oklahoma City? None of my employees want to wait on you. They're terrified of you. Yeah. So I don't want these people to feel that way about me. So I'm just going to bite the bullet and keep it. And I don't know. I don't want to call and complain constantly. You know, you're going to get people that don't know what you're talking about. They don't know if it's ever going to be fixed. She said, you need to see if you have the latest update. I said, I do have the latest update. Well, you need to go to page 10 and look down here at such and such on page 8 or 9 or whatever it is. I said, I've already done that, ma'am. Well, you need to go there and check. I mean, she was rude. You want to see this? So this is an image. You know, it's fall right now. And I love this image. I don't like to put faces on my clothes. I don't know why. I just don't like to. I'll put a chicken, but I won't put a face of a person. That makes a lot of sense, Joy. No. But I just love this. And so I was just doing it for an experiment, see? So I digitized this on my Bernina software. It's called Designer Plus. I digitized this. It was just a picture. And that's an embroidery design now. Can you tell? That's an embroidery design. So I want to put the same picture in Picture Play in Lady R and see what kind of embroidery design she comes up with. And yes, my jacket. I worked on my jacket. I told you it took all day yesterday. I was a mess last night. I was screaming at Jerry, and I just had to ask him to forgive me. I'm just so frustrated with this machine. I wish my friend Becky had told me. She knew this. She was going to get the Avenir, and she heard somehow about these issues, and she didn't buy it. I wish she would have told me. Becky, you should have told me. But what they told you were issues. They are issues. I've heard my whole life odd numbers. You're supposed to do odd numbers in candles, odd numbers in decorations, odd numbers, high, low, medium, all that kind of stuff, decorating. I'm going to decorate that with 3 sunflowers. I'll put one more on, let me see, that sunflower's on this sleeve. There's one on the back, so I'm going to put another single sunflower right here. I may just do it in my, I already have done it in that. I haven't found a single sunflower design, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my Designer Plus and I'm going to remove this flower right there. And I'm going to have just that flower. And in Designer Plus, you can make it as big as you want to. And it will correct the number of stitches and the fills accordingly. I mean, if I make this way bigger, it's not going to be a real thin, scrawny design. You understand? It will increase the fills, so it will still be the same flower. It will just be much bigger. So I think that's the one I'm going to put right here. So I have to go. I have to get this done and this done. I'll see y'all later. So, you know, I've been seeing a chiropractor for many months now. I haven't been to him for probably 4 to 5 weeks. Jerry's been sick for 3 weeks, and I was sick before that. But I hurt myself the other day in the craziest way. The craziest way. You remember my jacket with the sunflowers on it? I'll tell you about that in a minute. But you remember that jacket? I put it on myself and looked in the mirror. And it was way longer in the back. More than 1.5 inches. Way longer in the back than in the front. Why is that? I expected that, but not to that extent. I did not do a full bust adjustment in this pattern because I'm making a size 18. And the size 18 was for my full bust. So I didn't think that was going to be an issue. But obviously it was an issue. So I asked Jerry to come in my sewing room. He was, of course, in his barn. I went over there and got him. Said, could you please measure me? I said, it'll only take 2 minutes. So he came in and he sits in the chair and I stand there. And then I have to go around and around. And he takes, call it a yardstick. It's not a yardstick. It's like a yardstick, only it's metal. It's yellow and it's metal and it's wider than a yardstick. And so he uses that to measure. So he kept saying, be still, stand up straight. Be still, stand up straight. So I stood there like this. It took him an hour. Not all at once. But he would do it, and then I would put it on, and we would look at the lines he made, and it just didn't make sense, so he'd do it again, do it again. Well, it turned out, every time I put the jacket on, you can put it on more forward or more backward, or, you know, it's not done yet. So I had to make sure that every time I put it on, it started out the same measurement at the front. So we went around and around and around on that jacket. But when he got done, after I stood there, and you know when you stand up straight, you know, I probably walk around like this, you know, for real. But when you stand like this for an hour, it causes extensive pain in your hips and your back. So I wasn't very happy about that, but you know, I've got that gun massager thing now, so Jerry used that on me and that helped a little bit, but I was still hurting the next day, so I went back to the chiropractor. But what I told my chiropractor, the cutest guy you ever saw, so cute, and he's just solid muscle, muscles everywhere. I wish he'd let me take his picture. He wears these really tight knit shirts and you can just see every muscle. When I took, let me show it to you. When I took this off, it's been cut now. Look at the back, how much shorter it is than the front now. It's been cut. But the craziest thing happened. One of the things I kept having Jerry do was remeasure me, because I said it can't be this way. I said I should be a ½ inch shorter on this side than this side. And it's not coming out that way. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Remeasure me, remeasure me, remeasure me. Well, look at me, y'all. Look at me. I have tennis shoes on, same on both feet. No lifts, no anything. Look at my shoulders. Can you tell which shoulder is low? Let me turn around backwards. Maybe you can tell that way. Can you tell which shoulder is low? So according to the jacket, neither one of my shoulders is low. Jerry said, stand still, let me look at you. And he said, Joy, your shoulders are exactly the same. So I had him take a measuring tape and measure me from my shoulder joint here to the floor and my shoulder joint here to the floor. He measured me several times, exactly the same. So I told the chiropractor, I said, did you know you straightened me out and my shoulders are straight now? And he said, well, I hope you tell those people on your channel that your chiropractor straightened you out. So I did. So what else about the jacket? This was the sleeve. See here, sleeve. Now my husband, when my husband looks at something, if there is the tiniest boo-boo in it, if there's the tiniest flaw in it, I always say, well, I don't know why you ever married me, because I was crooked. I am crooked. Well, I might not be crooked anymore. He sees the flaw. And so I showed him the butterfly on the back, and the first thing he said was, well, why is there a crease there between the butterfly's antlers? First thing he saw. It just ticks Philly off. She said, I am going to text him. Why does he do that to you? Why couldn't he just say it looks really pretty and not notice that? And even if he did notice it, not say anything. So I just want to tell you, when I showed him this, when it was a sleeve on my arm, he said, Joy, that is so stiff. That doesn't hang soft. It's so stiff. And he's 100% right. It is. It's stiff, 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 stiff as a board. He said, you're not going to be able to pleat that. It's too stiff. So don't think, oh my gosh, Jerry's so mean. No. This is actually a gift, an amazing gift. He can look at anything, a fence, bricks on a house, a bridge on a street, anything, and he can see if it's not straight, if it's not level. He actually had them tear down a whole wall on a house we built one time because the bricks were unlevel, and the more they went up, the more they got unlevel. They tore it down, started over. It's a gift, and he's able to see things like that. When we bought our RV, it had been used by one other person. He had gotten COVID and almost died. And when he lived, he decided he wanted to buy the nicest RV there was, and so he traded that one in on a nicer, bigger, newer one. And we got there the day after he traded it in. And so Jerry is able to see things that aren't working right. We have watched hundreds of YouTube videos. There's a lady, if you want to watch her, her name is Liz, L-I-Z, like zipper, amazing. She has people on there who have bought brand new, up to $1 million RVs recently, this last year. Brand spanking new, and they have had so many things wrong with them. The people went in, they looked at them, they thought they were fine, they were told they were fine, they bought them. If it had been Jerry, and he had gone in to look at that same exact thing, he would have found every problem they talked about. Yeah, he would have. We looked at RVs before we bought the one we did, and Jerry would say, no, 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 this is crooked, no, no, this is off, no, no, these cupboards don't close right, no, this is off out here on this you know, those things that come out to protect you from the sun. He just could notice everything. And so don't feel bad about that, my Philly friend. It is a gift, and I'm so glad he has it. Wonderful. He's the kind of person you want to have look at the house before you buy it. Look at the car before you buy it. It is a gift. So I have to hurry up and finish this because my gifted husband has advised me we're leaving tomorrow all of a sudden. So you saw the sleeve. You saw the sleeve, which is no longer on the jacket. Jerry was right. So I'm giving this to Philly. Philly said, you don't make that jacket. I want those sunflowers. I want to make a purse or something. So this is going to Philly. So my jacket now is straight when I put it on. And it just has 2 sunflowers. But I'm still waiting for the yellow lining. I've put lining in before. It's really, really nice when a jacket or a coat has a lining. I think they should have one. You know, I make mostly blouses, and blouses don't have to be lined. But I'm getting so I like jackets. Look at this one. Remember, a lot of you have been watching me for years and years and years, but for my newbies, my friend and I, Viv has a channel called Viv, V-I-V, like victory, Viv Mom Sews, and we did a topper challenge several years ago. And we gave away prizes. I think we gave away 5 different prizes. And you just had to sew a topper. And then we had, you know, the number chooser thing that chooses the number out of the hats online. And 5 people won. And one of them was a gift certificate. Viv and I bought a gift certificate. I think it was like a Visa card. But we had a cash gift also that we bought. So one of these days, I don't know, Viv just became a grandma for the first time, so I don't know, she's going to be making baby clothes. Cutest little girl you ever saw. So I am waiting for the yellow lining. I will line that jacket, and then I will get one of my new tops. This black one's my new top. See how nice it fits under a jacket? Oh, and yes, to tell you, this was one of the toppers that I made, and I don't remember which pattern this was, but they are so nice to wear. There's the string off of it. This one isn't lined. This is knit. Now, knit's different than woven. This is knit, so it's not lined. But I've been wearing this all afternoon, and it's just like I have a t-shirt on. Oh, it's wonderful. And I think I made 5 or 6 of these back when we did that challenge. I'm going to find them, and I'm going to put them together in a topper section of my closet so I can find them and use them. If you make it, you need to wear it. Let you go because I got to get ready to leave town tomorrow, and the reason I'm hurrying through this is because I can't finish this video there, because this video is done on my desktop, and my desktop is not movable like my laptop is. So I will show you my jacket when I get it done. Don't hold your breath. It probably will be several weeks from now. And then at my other house, if I end up finding most of my toppers there, I'll make a video and show you all my toppers. Not my quilted jackets, that's completely different. This topper thing was completely different than the quilted jackets, okay? I'll let you go for now, and I'll be back when I'm back.